Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. When the avatar appeared, Nye and the green-clad cultivators widened their eyes in shock. This is. The avatar had 9 heads. The heads looked fierce like red dragons and serpents that were brandishing their claws and baring their fangs. 9 infants? Nye flipped backward. A hint of fear could be seen in his eyes. That was an avatar with 9 serpent heads. 5 of the heads bared their fangs and lunged at the cultivators. The miniature avatars in the dojo were like red delicious meals that entered the 9 infants' mouth. The cultivator's miserable cry rang in the air. Inside the absolute heaven formation, the strength of the 30 cultivators from the 12 sects of Cloud Mountain was reduced to that of a child. Every one of them became prey. How difficult could it be for the 9 infants to devour 30 buns? It was as difficult as lifting one's arm. Nye was still in shock. The absolute heaven formation was no ordinary formation. Apart from weakening opponents and strengthening its user, it also blocked sounds and sight. Yizhen had never liked people approaching or entering the dojo. In recent years, he merely recruited one disciple to attend to his meals and living. Jiang Shaosheng had a good understanding of his master's temper, and he lived up to his master's expectations. Although he performed well under his master's strict requirements, he would still be punished. At this moment, he was waiting outside the dojo, unable to hear and see what was going on inside. The disciples on lofty steep mountain knew the rules of the 5-story courtyard at the middle peak. Therefore, no one would visit at a time like this. Regardless, Jiang Shaosheng was standing guard outside, on a lookout for clueless visitors. Inside the dojo, the battle seemed to be winding down after the initial chaos and commotion. Nye's eyeballs looked as though they were going to pop out of their sockets as he stared at the 9 infants' avatar baring their fangs. He was petrified, he fell to his knees and shook uncontrollably. You're a foreign tribesman? Yizhen's expression remained unchanged. He sat cross-legged before the Aru character. The others, apart from Nye, were dead. Yizhen sighed softly before he said, "Unfortunately, you chose the wrong path." The largest head, the one in the middle, lunged at Nye. Crack. Yizhen waved his hand. The 9 infants' avatar retreated to his side immediately. He looked at the 9 infants' avatar's 5 heads as he muttered to himself, although they aren't as delicious as 9-leaf cultivators, 30 nascent divinity realm cultivators are enough. He waved his arm again. A ring of script energy seals appeared and descended on the 9 infants' avatar. In just a moment, one of the drooping heads slowly lifted. A red light shrouded it, and just like that, there were 6 upright heads. The 9 infants' avatar slowly spun before it reverted to its humanoid forms. The 9 leaves on the red lotus shone brightly, the broken leaf was no longer wilted as well. 3 more heads. Yizhen clenched his fist. The avatar disappeared. He wore a regretful expression on his face as he muttered, "Oh, Meng Changdong. Perhaps I've been too merciful." Meanwhile, in the Golden Lotus domain. The Golden Lotus domain was being harassed by beasts. This was the case for province as well. At a relay station. Ever since human cultivators in Great Yen began to attempt the 9-leaf stage, the beasts are getting more and more aggressive. The sect master of the Tian sect, Nan Gongwei, has been going around supporting as many people as he can after he became a 9-leaf cultivator. The evil Sky Pavilion's Mr. Fourth wielded a desolate grade weapon and threw caution to the wind as he lured the huge beasts away. "How impressive!" a cultivator said loudly. "We'll just have to endure these tough times. When there are more 9-leaf cultivators, the beasts will no longer be such a big problem," someone chimed in. "That's right. The evil Sky Pavilion has sent Miss Sixth to look after province. Great Yen will surely survive this." At this moment, someone shouted outside of the relay station, "The beasts are here again." Swoosh. 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 The cultivators at the relay station took flight and headed toward the city walls. Meanwhile, in front of the main city, a figure clad in white robes who seemed detached from worldly attachments descended on the city wall as he looked at the beasts in the sky. This person had been guarding this place for days. Ever since the beasts began to harass human cities, Wuya had put several measures in place. For example, 9-leaf cultivators would be mobile reinforcements to make full use of their combat powers. Meanwhile, 8-leaf cultivators were tasked to look after the cities and protect the barriers without engaging the beasts. This measure worked extremely well. Yi Tianxin was one such 8-leaf cultivator who was tasked with protecting the city and its barrier. As Yi Tianxin looked at the flying beasts in the skies, many cultivators gathered behind her. "Greetings, Miss Sixth." Yi Tianxin's eyes flashed for a moment before she nodded and lightly said, "Hello. Miss Sixth, that looks like a huge beast." Someone said worriedly. "Don't worry. Act according to the plan. All we have to do is stall for time and prevent it from damaging the barrier while we wait for 9-leaf cultivators to arrive," Yi Tianxin said as she looked at the horizon. Indeed, an eye-catching huge beast could be seen in the distance, flying among the smaller beasts toward the barrier. "Kill them." The garrison cultivators took flight and killed the beasts. The smaller beasts were nothing to be afraid of. Since the information of beasts dropping life hearts became public, cultivators were rather enthusiastic about killing beasts. After all, even a small life heart was extremely precious. At this moment, a flying beast with a wingspan of dozens of meters charged toward the city. Yi Tianxin was puzzled. Is there a 9-leaf cultivator in Yi province? Bam! The huge beast's attacks were not something ordinary cultivators could withstand. They retreated as ripples appeared in the sky. Shangyu's body was completely red. It resembled a mountain chicken and had the cry of a deer. Despite the temperature, the cultivators shivered as they looked at it. "Stay inside the barrier. I'll deal with it." Yi Tianxin leaped out, drawing a white arc in the sky. She wielded the amorous hoop, leaving ripples in her wake. Boom! She cast the blue wave technique, and a tidal wave of energy struck Shangyu. Shangyu screeched as several of its feathers fell. As expected of the evil sky pavilion's Miss Sixth. It's unbelievable that an 8-leaf cultivator possesses such strength. In the eyes of outsiders, 8-leaf cultivators from the evil sky pavilion were always more powerful than their peers. Yi Tianxin withdrew her amorous hoop and looked at Shangyu. After feeling the pain from the attack, Shangyu flew higher and higher up in the sky. Miss Sixth, duck. Although Yi Tianxin was an extraordinary 8-leaf cultivator, it was almost impossible for her to win against a huge beast. Yi Tianxin retreated as a wave of energy surged. The amorous hoop spun above the wave of energy. Shangyu suddenly stopped and let out a deafening screech that resounded in the entire city. Many cultivators could not withstand the impact and plummeted from the sky. Meanwhile, the low-rank cultivators on the ground were bleeding profusely from their eyes. Fall back. Yi Tianxin understood the situation they were in, it was dire. She looked up and said, "I'll stall it. The rest of you, kill the smaller beasts." Understood. Yi Tianxin was skilled and bold. She flew out of the barrier. Meanwhile, Shangyu's attention seemed to be focused on Yi Tianxin. Perhaps, it was because she heard it earlier. It flapped its wings wildly as it flew toward Yi Tianxin. Its sharp beak and claws glowed with a red light. It screeched again. The cultivators in the vicinity felt their scalps tingle and their blood essence boil. Someone shouted, "Call for help. Miss Sixth won't be able to hold out for long." 9-leaf cultivators would need, at least, an hour to arrive in this place on the flying chariot. We have to do something to stall for time until then. The nascent divinity cultivators in Yi Province City flew over. Humans were unprecedentedly united in dealing with the beasts. Soon after, there were 100 cultivators gathered on the city walls. The cultivators with cultivation bases at or below the divine court realm were tasked with dealing with the smaller beasts. On the other hand, the nascent divinity cultivators arranged themselves in a huge phalanx as they shot toward Yusheng. "Miss Sixth, We're coming. The cultivators unleashed their power as they charged towards Shengyu. Energy sabers, palm seals, and energy swords swept toward the huge beast like a tidal wave. Bam. 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 Yi Tianxin had no time to catch her breath as she flew up again. Shangyu screeched again. The phalanx of nascent divinity realm cultivators activated their protective energies and blocked the sound wave. Yi Tianxin activated her avatar. A slender female 8-leaf golden lotus avatar stood proudly in the air. She projected her voice and said, "We're too close to the city. I'll lure it away." Shengyu stared at Yi Tianxin intently as though it was looking at a delicious meal before it frantically chased after her. This is bad. It's going after Miss Sixth. Look at Miss Sixth's golden lotus. The 8 golden lotus leaves were full and dazzling. They spun as though the 9th leaf was sprouting. Since Shengyu was a flying beast, its speed in the air was naturally shocking. Every time it flapped its wings, it would stir up a gale. Yi Tianxin flew away from the city. In just a blink of an eye, she was already more than 10 miles away from the city. The 100 nascent divinity cultivators dared not scatter. They maintained their formation as they gave chase. Shangyu was too fast. It did not take long before it caught up to Yi Tianxin. It swiped at her 8-leaf avatar with its claws. The 100-feet avatar was only half the size of Shangyu. Boom. Yi Tianxin grunted as she fell. She nearly spat out a mouthful of blood. The others exclaimed in shock. Protect Miss Sixth. Go. The 100 cultivators approached the beast. All of them manifested their avatars at this moment. Avatars with 1 leaf to 7 leaves formed a wall in the sky. It was an impressive sight. When Yi Tianxin descended, she felt her heart stir slightly when she saw the wall of avatars. There were many things in the world that required immediate actions, leaving no time for people to be cautious. Boom. Shangyu's feathers were ruffled as it flapped its wings and screeched. Boom. 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 The avatars were sent flying, and the cultivators spat out blood from the backlash. These 100 cultivators were no match for Shengyu at all. Yi Tianxin's frown deepened. She fought back the pain as she looked at the others. After a beat, she manifested her avatar again after she flew up into the sky. Strangely, after she manifested her avatar, Shengyu seemed to ignore her. Instead, it continued charging toward the other cultivators' avatars. More cultivators were injured when their avatars were attacked by Shengyu. Yi Tianxin's heart sank. She gritted her teeth and channeled more power into her golden lotus. The golden lotus spun along with its 8 leaves as its aura leaked out. As expected, Shengyu turned around. Fall back. Don't follow me. I'll lure it away. Yi Tianxin cried out as she flew to the side. Realization dawned on the others at this moment. With this realization, complicated feelings arose in their hearts. She's going to sprout a leaf now? Is she crazy? Miss Sixth is trying to lure the huge beast away with the aura of a 9-leaf cultivator. She'll certainly die. The cultivators gathered again. They felt conflicted. Are you afraid of dying? Not at all. If I was, I would be hiding in the city right now. In that case, let's carry on. Let's go. Although they were injured, they did not retreat. They fell into formation and gave chase. Yi Tianxin flew at top speed as she tried to lure Shengyu away. When she judged that they were far enough from the city, she prepared to retract her avatar. Alas, things were not as simple as she had imagined. Her heart sank when she discovered she could not retract her avatar, and the golden lotus was picking up speed as it spun. Yi Tianxin hovered high in the air. She remained motionless. Her white hair fluttered in the wind. Her snow-white robes made her look like a budding jade tree covered in snow. She looked ethereal and pure, and her bearing was dignified. Shengyu flapped its wings and charged toward her with glowing claws. Yi Tianxin was never someone to submit to fate. She used her golden lotus and channeled energy into the amorous hoop. Instead of retreating, she advanced. Boom! The human and the beast collided. The amorous hoop unleashed a powerful energy at this moment. Shangyu screeched in pain. Within the area of 10 miles, the trees and ground shook, and there were landslides. The weaker beasts shuddered in fear and prostrated themselves on the ground. Yi Tianqin did not escape unscathed from the powerful collision as well. She grunted before blood trickled down the edge of her lips. It was a stark contrast against her white robes. Her 100-foot 8-leaf golden lotus avatar moved back. At this moment, she discovered her golden lotus was spinning at a higher speed now. Why is it so fast? Yi Tianqin was there when her master demonstrated the way to reach the 9-leaf stage, therefore, she was not completely clueless about the process. Under normal circumstances, the golden lotus should not be spinning so quickly at this time. This is the stage where the golden lotus would absorb her lifespan, which she did not have much of. Ever since she had been hit by the golden dragon script seal, her lifespan had shortened considerably. It was an understatement to say she did not have many years at her disposal. 1,200 years. Even if Shengyu did not kill her, the golden lotus would kill her. She prepared to cast the blue waves technique again when she saw the phalanx of 100 nascent divinity cultivators flying toward her. Miss Sixth, run! Energy sabers, energy swords, palm seals, script seals, and rune seals sailed toward Shengyu at this moment as it was reeling back. Bam! 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 Shengyu was already injured by Yi Tianqin. It became agitated by these attacks. It began to flap its wings in a frenzy, parrying the attacks, primal chi, and energy blasts. The wind it stirred up was like a tornado as it spun out and swept through the nascent divinity cultivators. The cultivators cried out as they were sent flying back. More than half of them spat out blood. Meanwhile, those at or below the 5-leaf stage felt numb in their Dantian sea of qi. Shengyu was too powerful. It was comparable to the man-mans in Mo City. Even an 8-leaf cultivator was no match for it, let alone these cultivators below the 7-leaf stage. Shengyu dove and broke the cultivator's formation. Its eyes seemed to burn with flames, and it grew excited when it saw Yi Tianqin's golden lotus avatar. It flapped its wings again, stirring up violent gusts of wind, as it flew toward Yi Tianqin. At this moment, Yi Tianqin no longer had the strength to fend off Shengyu. Under such circumstances, only Yu Shangrong, who constantly walked on a knife's edge, would be able to face it calmly. Moreover, things were even more difficult for her since her golden lotus was in the process of sprouting the 9th leaf. Even someone as powerful as Ming Shiyin needed a powerful protector like their master to guard him when he was attempting the 9-leaf stage, let alone her. She did not know how she was going to survive this. She only watched with widened eyes as Shengyu charged toward her. Yi Tianqin was sent flying again. The impact made her blood essence boil, and her avatar looked as though it was going to shatter at any moment. Meanwhile, the golden lotus had already begun to absorb her lifespan. Wrinkles appeared on her face, her peerless appearance was swiftly aging. She watched as Shengyu prepared to charge again. She was suddenly filled with the certainty that her life was going to end. However, she did not feel regretful. After all, she should have died a long time ago. She was fortunate enough to have lived until now. She would not ask for more. The strong wind rustled her silver hair as her consciousness gradually faded. At this moment of passing, she understood what life was about. She spread her arms out and sighed deeply, completely calm. She had given up on resisting. Shengyu charged at her with great momentum, intent on devouring the delicacy before its eyes. When it seemed like hope was lost, a strange cry rang in the air. A body so huge that it seemed like a floating city appeared in the sky. What's that? The cultivators were stunned. They had never seen a beast of this size before. When they looked up, they only saw its massive underbelly and head. The beast's fur was white with yellow streaks at the side. The sunlight made it look even more imposing, like an overlord. Shengyu came to an abrupt halt. Its feathers seemed to be standing on its hand. Even with its size, it still had to look up at the colossal beast. At this moment, it looked insignificant before the colossal beast. Its excited, hungry, and predatory gaze was replaced with one of terror. After a beat, it flapped its wing frantically, trying to flee. Whoosh! At this time, the colossal beast swiped with its claw at Shengyu that was only 1/3 of its size. Boom! A loud explosion thundered in the air when the claws struck. Trees fell as clouds of dust rose. In just a moment, Shengyu was pinned to the ground by the gigantic beast. The smaller beasts in the area looked like flies in comparison. They were killed from the impact alone. When the humongous beast swept its tail out, it sent the weaker beasts flying, killing them in the process. This crushing momentum could only be generated by absolute strength. The cultivators present on the scene watched in awe and stunned silence. Dread crept into their hearts when they regained their senses. This is bad. The transition to the 9-leaf stage has attracted a more powerful beast. We're done. I don't think even Mr. Fourth can defeat this beast. Yi Tianxin's 100-foot 8-leaf avatar was right in front of the gigantic beast at this moment. Meanwhile, Yi Tianxin's height was only the length of the beast's nostril. When Yi Tianxin saw the colossal beast, she could not help but feel slightly excited. At the same time, her hope was rekindled. However, her current situation was too optimistic. She had aged to the point where she struggled to even speak. Chang Huang. Chang Huang cried out. Then, it glanced at the struggling Shengyu under its claws. Shengyu continued to trash and struggle, but it was futile. It could not break free of Chang Huang's hold at all. Chang Huang then looked at Yi Tianxin's avatar and Golden Lotus. At this moment, dozens of cultivators at and above the 5-leaf stage flew toward Yi Tianxin, clearly determined to make a last-ditch effort to save her. Yi Tianxin turned around and said as loudly as she could, "Stand back." The cultivators stopped and looked at Cheng Huang, stunned. Soon after, realization dawned on them. It seemed like Cheng Huang was not hostile. As soon as Cheng Huang appeared, all the beasts within 10 miles had fled. Apart from Shengyu's cries, no other noises could be heard. Cheng Huang lowered its head and brought its nose closer to Yi Tianxin before it sniffed her. Then, it cried out. Its cry was solemn and stirring. Boom! All of a sudden, Cheng Huang raised its paws and brought it down on Shengyu. Just like that, Shengyu was cleaved into two. The cultivators felt chills run up their spines. Shengyu, a beast that even a peak 8-leaf cultivator could not deal with, was as fragile as a piece of paper in front of Cheng Huang. After Shengyu died, a glowing red and translucent gemstone hovered in the air. The sun shone on it, making it look even more dazzling.